because I know what it was like for me. It was very, very hard. And I didn't have any of this support structure you guys have. I want to know when I lay my head down, I can think back and say, you know what? I've impacted people's lives for the better. And now nobody can find fault in me. I'm not charging you. I'm not taking anything from you, but I'm promising you, you are absolutely going to see it on a different perspective next year. You're going to see it. You're going to understand it. You may not be able to execute like you see me doing because that's unrealistic, right? But finding one good setup and knowing that that's enough and stopping until you grow in your own personal ability, that's the proper way of learning. That's a real mentorship right there. That's it. That's being taken under the wing by someone that knows how to do it. You don't have any animosity because you're not being asked to pay for something you can barely afford. And then you're worrying about, is it really worth the amount of money I paid? No, no amount of money could be paid to me to justify what I'm willing to do next year. You couldn't pay me. It's because I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to help you. I want to see you succeed. And I want to have a small part in that. Not because I want you to worship me. Once you get there, hey man, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's enough. You don't have to have a memorial to me on YouTube. Okay. You don't need to have a license tag. ICT got me here. That's worship. I don't want that. Just acknowledge, give me thanks, and that's it. That's all. That's all I ask for. Isn't that reasonable? That's reasonable, isn't it? I'm not going to ask you to do something beyond just working towards it, the effort. And I want to share that moment with you, a small moment of it. It's all yours. It's all your credit. But I just want to have that moment where I can look at you and say, I told you, if you just gave yourself the chance, look where you're at now. Look what you were able to accomplish. Look at where you're at right now and what you can do. That feeling of accomplishment that you grinded through all the bullshit, all the horse shit, everybody doubting you, your friends, your spouse, and anybody online ever said anything about you. You know what it feels like. They said something to you. You got a chip on your shoulder. That shit falls off and smooths out real quick when you start making $30,000 a month. Real smooth. You ain't got no problems then. I want to see and hear your testimonies. I don't want to see it in the text. I want to see people's faces this time next year. I want to see them say, this totally transformed everything. And this is what I'm going to do with it. I've had so many personal testimonials sent to me like that with video. And my wife and I, my kids, I'm moved. Because I know what it was like for me. It was very, very hard. And I didn't have any of this support structure you guys have. And this is my entire life. I pour everything into my students because I want them to succeed. I don't want them to have any of the hardships. But some of you fight me and you arm wrestle me and you want to do it your own way. And I know it's not the right way. And you don't know that it's not the right way. Everything in your life's about to change. You don't understand how much yet. And I'm trying to do the best I can to make it a little bit easier. And for some of you, you're going to take this skill and do amazing shit with it. You're going to live a totally different lifestyle. And I don't want you to be selfish with it. When you see somebody in need, help them. Not when they ask you for it either. Now, I'm not talking about, I'm going to help them by teaching them. And that's not what I said. Help them. They need something. Provide it. Do it anonymously. You see somebody in the grocery store, they're pushing a cart around. You can read their face. You can see it. They're broke. Come behind them and pay them. Tell the cashier, I got them. I do that every time I go to the grocery store. When I first got with my wife, she was like, "What are you doing that for?" She didn't understand it. I said, "Never tell me that again. Don't ever speak to me about it. Don't ever ask me to justify why I'm doing it. You want to touch somebody's heart, you do that. And when they turn to you and they say, you just let me have enough money for the rest of the week. The rest of the month, I don't have my rent money, but I can feed my kids now because of that. It costs you nothing, man, to do stuff like that. It costs you nothing. And think about how many times you know you were standing right next to somebody that could have used a hand like that and you didn't do a thing because it felt uncomfortable. When you live your life like this and you want to do it for people, and I've had people say, no, I don't want you to do that. Some of them actually cussed me out. I didn't ask you for a handout. It's going to happen sometimes. But you want to leave an impression, a good one. And when you start doing things like that for other people, it's contagious. And you want to do it more. And it changes you. Because as a 20-year-old, I was a real arrogant prick. And I was self-centered. It was all about me. I never would have helped anybody else in the store. I never would have gave them anything. I never would have bought them a car. I never would have gave them a house. I never would have done any of those things. I never would have paid for their children to get through school. I never would have gave their kids clothes, school supplies, the entire time they had their whole schooling. I never would have done those things. I was all about me. I had to make me feel good. And the more I did for me, the shittier I felt about everything I was doing. I felt like a vacuum. I couldn't fill it. Everything I tried to do that was all about me, looking good, driving this, living like this, spending that. The more I poured into it, the more empty I was. The more money I made, the less I felt I didn't have any substance, none. So you have to have a planned direction, what you're going to do when you have this money coming in. What are you planning to do with it? I see a lot of people, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to be this and this. It all changes when it's all about them. Because when I was 20, I was the same way. And don't think that won't help you be a better person when you start doing it, because it will. And then when you start trading larger, you start thinking to yourself, you know what? I'm not taking this trade to do something, for me financially, which drives people into dumb decisions, like it did with me when I was 20.